Stats Miranda. You might be wondering why you're watching a video from Stats Miranda in a suit. It's not TAPS class. Currently job hunting because of a DUI. What you saw right there was the actual footage from Channel 7 during the arrest. News article went up, I was on the news. They actually had my sobriety test on the Channel 7 news. Pretty crazy, you know. That heart when people, you know, hey, don't drink and drive. Make sure that you have a DD. And hey, some bad choices, and I ended up being the one that you know, didn't take my own advice. You never plan on getting a DUI, and sometimes it's a slippery slope, you know. But you have to look yourself in the mirror and see where to start at. You know, it didn't start with the morning getting in the vehicle, you know, at 7 a.m. and planning on, hey, you know, today's going to be the day that I'm going to get into a car accident and slam into some people. You know, it started with, you know, trying to take the edge off at work. You know, have a shot here, have a shot there.
So Wednesday night, my husband told me that he was going to stay late at work and he was going to come home late. So I went to bed that night with my son, and in the morning when I woke up and I didn't see any signs of him, I decided to go to his job. And as I was getting closer to his job, the captain calls me with bad news. And I didn't know what to expect. I thought he got into an accident, he was dead, or something happened to him worse.
Stopping on the way home for a drink or drinking at home, and got to the point where, you know, hey, take a little edge off at work, you know, no problem with that. Well, there's a huge problem.
So I was heading to his job, and the captain calls me with some bad news. I find out that my husband got into an accident and he was arrested by the cop. As soon as I got to his job, well, first I had to drop off our son at the babysitter's house, and then afterwards I went straight to the job to find out what was going on with my husband. And he was arrested, and just a feeling of knowing that something was wrong. He wasn't home, and I wanted to go see if he was okay, if he fell asleep at the unit. And getting that call was really, really stressful, and like my heart stopped.
As I gave up my judgment, and I gave up my ability to make good decisions, it only led to poorer decisions. They just kept following each other.
I came to work I was dropping my son off at school, and I was coming to work. I get to work after everybody else because of that. And I pull up and I see the Navy Govy. It's all smashed in the front. I remember they went out late last night on the Govy, but I didn't think it was nowhere, nothing of what.
You think you're okay when you're really not. I mean, you take one drink and that's it. You know, take a.
It was rumored that the naval van was in an accident. Perhaps Staff Sergeant Miranda was driving it. So myself and Sergeant Guevara, we went down there to check it out to see if the naval van had been in an accident, and indeed it had been. And Staff Sergeant Miranda was in the custody of the police and was subject to arrest.
Don't have that drink at work. Don't have that. Don't drink your lunch.
They said he had just gotten into an accident, and I didn't get it, because we were done last night, whatever. So get in.
I was found guilty of Article 92.
As soon as I got to my husband's job, the first sergeant was there to speak to me and let me know what was going on, somewhat of what he knew, because I didn't know the whole story. I didn't know anything at all. I couldn't even speak to him because he called me from one of the cops' phones, and it died, so I didn't get to speak to him. Then waiting and not knowing what was going to happen, if he was going to stay in jail for a few days, for weeks. We had vacation the next day that we were leaving to. We never packed. It was just very stressful. Well, as soon as we got there, I was really anxious. I was really upset, stressed, sad. I didn't know. I just wanted to yell at him as soon as I saw him. But I told myself he needs my support, and I'm pregnant, the baby can't feel what I feel, and our son, so I had to be the strong person for all of us.
Sent to office hours. I received battalion level NJP. I was maxed out. And that has a lot of things that goes with it.
You sit here and people try to preach to the Marines and tell them, oh yeah, when you're drunk or you're, whatever, you're going to be able to make a good decision, or you need to make smart decisions. But in all actuality, that's not what it is, because you in that moment get glimpses of what you did after the fact, but at that point in time, your brain is shut down as to making good decisions, period. So you have to depend on the person to the left or the right of you, you know what I'm saying, to make these decisions. It's not, or you just don't drink, end of story. That's it, you know what I mean? Because once you get to a certain point, there is no, oh, I've had this many, so I'm gonna shut down.
I felt very happy and relieved that he was out, but I was very angry at the fact what had happened, and not knowing what was going to happen in the future, especially expecting our next child. So now we have lawyer fees, and we have to drive Jeremy everywhere. It's just very annoying and very stressful for the family, financially, mentally, physically. Seeing your name in the news, it makes everyone else in your family look bad. So it's not worth it. It's embarrassing to be the wife of someone who did that, drinking and driving, and then someone who had a lot of going on for them, especially in the Marine Corps. And it's just so embarrassing. I don't even want to do the video, but I'm doing it to support my husband. And just seeing it on the news and his name on the news made me really upset. It's just like seeing him when I went to bail him out of jail. It was just very embarrassing. The whole situation.
Realistically, I mean, every one of you sitting out there, you know what I'm saying, you know that when it comes to drinking, either you drink or you don't. There is no in between. There's saying that, you need to understand. I mean, realistically, nobody in the audience is scared of a DUI. Nobody thinks it's gonna be them. You know what I'm saying? When you out and you doing your thing, you untouchable.
Although on active duty, yes, it definitely is probably easier to go what they call native, easier to freaking go like stray, because there's less Marines here. It's not a Marine Corps base. It's not a Marine Corps lifestyle. you have to adapt your lifestyle to everything around here, and it's just adverse to a Marine Corps lifestyle.
My advice to someone would be that think before you do anything, because you're causing problems to the people who love you the most, your family. It can be your daughter, your son, your wife, your mom, everyone around you. As well, drinking and driving is not worth it, because you can end up killing someone or killing yourself and leaving your family with all the burden.
Basically, the idea is to state that you're not going to realize the consequences of your decisions until it's way too late. Losing pay, you losing your rank, you losing your freaking career, because one, you'll not be able to re-enlist, and you can't extend on your contract. If you are in receipt of PCS orders, you may not even be able to PCS because you won't even have time to time on contract or obligated time to actually execute those PCS. So that's the point I was trying to make.
You're having a good time. You are in the moment. It's not, oh, what's going to happen, you know what I'm saying, later on in a couple hours when I got to drive home. It's not that. And if you're saying that it is, you're lying. You're not being realistic with yourself. So saying that, you have to, you know what I'm saying, the Marine Corps has a system, the buddy program. It's vital. You got to surround yourself with good people. In the story, in point blank, you got to surround yourself with good people.
I have PCS orders I was planning on staying in, and you know, now with the Marine Corps it's hard to stay in if you have any blemishes. I mean, it's not the time right before you submit a re-enlistment package. I had plans to go to OCS. You know, I was working on my package. I graduated college. We had this whole plan set up, and my inability to make the right decision to do the right thing ultimately led to not just affecting myself, you know, it affected my Marine Corps career, it affected my family. It goes beyond that. It affects the unit. You know, when we lose someone on the battlefield, you know, someone's got to pick up that pack, someone's got to do that extra work. Whenever we step out of the fight, you know, it has consequences. It led to some problems, you know, with financially, not only with the Marine Corps, you know, and having to get out now and looking for a job. I mean, you know, one day we'll all take off that uniform, but you know, let's not make that decision be made by our poor choices. Right now, I'm waiting my civilian trial. I had major court fees. I had to spend $450 to bail myself out, or my wife did. You know, I had a $4,000 lawyer fee. You know, multiple court fees. I have DUI school. I have a DUI evaluation, which referred me to substance abuse therapy. I lost my driving privileges. I now have a hardship license, so I can only drive to work, to church. You never think that you're that guy. You know, you're the stud. You're the cool guy. You're never that guy. You know, it's always those people, or it's these people, or they need help. You know, sometimes we don't say, hey, you know, maybe there's an issue, maybe there's a problem. There's never a problem until there's a problem. And, you know, what we have to do is we have to look out for each other, you know. If you're that senior man, you got to look out for the junior guys. You got to dig in there. You have to find out what's going on. You know, and sometimes you're the guy that's doing that, but, you know, sometimes you need to look in the mirror and do it to yourself as well. You know, this has caused a chain of events, you know. There's a lack of confidence in myself. There's a lack of confidence with staff NCOs. You know, we've gone so far, and then something like this happens, and it just doesn't hit that Marine. You know, now what are they looking at when they say a staff NCO? Like, oh, you know, staff NCOs, they're messing up. So if they're messing up and they're, you know, advising the officers and they're training the Marines, what's that doing for us? You know, so I took a step back for staff NCOs. I took a step back for the unit. You know, 4 years of great stuff is all erased away by one day or one bad choice. It has secondary and tertiary effects. So when you're going out there, you know, these are things that you really need to think about. You know, now we should all be intimately familiar with 0013. 0 underage drinking, 0 DUIs, 1 drink per hour, 3 drinks in the night, and that's it. Now I know everyone's sitting out there and they're like, man, I wish this safety brief would be over. well, you're just about there, guys, so, you know, calm down. You know, your hot dates ain't going anywhere if you have any. There's absolutely no reason for a DUI. There's no reason for underage drinking. I mean, you know, if you've got stress, go PT, you know, ask a buddy, you know, for some buddy aid. You know, it's 100% preventable. And I know everyone's sitting out there and they can't wait to get home. You know, they think this doesn't apply to them. It applies to everyone. And, you know, I hope and pray with this video that, you know, either you learned something or, you know, you had some takeaway, and, you know, where my lack of good decisions will hopefully in the future inspire you to make better ones.